Hello, hello, hello. What is up? Like the title of the video said, this is my review of Chaos Theory Season 4. Oh my gosh, this season was an emotional roller coaster. It was absolutely amazing. I will be doing no spoilers first, and then spoilers, I'll let you know when it switches over. For those who haven't seen the series yet. Or this series or season, really. Either one. But yeah. Okay, so overall, I absolutely loved this season. It was an amazing conclusion to the story of the Nublar 6, although I am sad that there won't be a season 5, and I am gonna miss these kids so much. This season was an absolute emotional roller coaster in the best and worst ways possible, and if you are someone who cries during movies and TV shows like me, get the tissues ready. I know that the studio would never do this, but I would absolutely love for them to make us a show just of cute fluff stories of the Nublar 6 in like 5 years, getting married, having kids, just cute little fluff stories like that. I know they wouldn't do it, but that would be absolutely amazing. Even just a little short that's like them in a couple years, just what they're up to, just like to let us know how their stories play out, like how their lives are going. Anyway, I wouldn't rate this season a 9 out of 10. I had a few quarrels with it that I'll get into a bit later, but other than that, it was absolutely phenomenal. Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory are honestly two of the best written shows that I've ever seen, and the fact that people skip over them just because they're kids' shows is terrible, and I hate that happens with so many animated shows and movies. They've added so much to the Jurassic World story and universe, and the amount of Easter eggs and callbacks and scenes happening in tandem is insane. There are hardly any moments in these shows where you see something that the characters could have done to prevent a situation but didn't, and that to me is always a sign of good writing. These shows and characters will always hold a special place in my heart, and I hope beyond hope that we will get to see them or hear more about them again. But yeah, that is my spoiler free quick review of this series and season. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Okay, we are entering spoiler territory now, and I'm not going in like a specific order of how the episodes happen. Like, I'm not going in chronological order with these. So, if you haven't finished the series, click away now because I am starting with what happens at the end. So click away now. Go ahead. Okay, starting with one word, Ben. Oh my gosh, they had me going. I really thought that they were gonna kill him, and I have some audio from me calling what was gonna happen. I called that he was gonna get hit with the thagomizer, and I was very proud of myself. So I'm gonna play that audio here from when I was watching it. Okay, but I called it. The stegosauruses were passing by, and I was like, oh, you know how Ben gets hurt? What if he gets hit with the thagomizer? Like, Kenji pretended to, and I was like, oh my gosh, I bet that was foreshadowing. He's totally getting hit with the thagomizer, and he did, and I called it, and I'm proud of myself. But yeah, there's that. But I kept doing that, like, while we were watching it. It was really funny, because I kept being like, oh, that was foreshadowing to this happening, and stuff like that. Like, oh, I saw this in the trailer, and this, and that's gonna produce this, and it just kept happening. And there was some stuff I said, like I said that they were gonna run into Zia, and Zia was gonna heal him because she's a paleo vet. She knows doctory stuff. She knows healing stuff. Um, so I was like, oh, they're gonna run into her. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be saved. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But it was stuff like that that I just kept calling. It was really funny. Okay, but yeah, with the Ben thing, they had me going. I really thought he was going to die. Like in the scene, in like the second to last episode, when he starts like hallucinating that he's back. It looked like his college campus, but like grassy, and there's pteranodons whoa, flying overhead. Also, like, wow, pteranodons, that's cruel. But anyway, like I thought that was their way of um killing him without him like actually being portrayed as dying because it's a kids show. But yeah, they had me going. I was literally in like between states of he's gonna die, this and this is gonna happen, and then being like, oh no, he's fine because this and this is gonna happen. And it was just bouncing between those two things, like remembering stuff from the trailer, seeing things, picking things apart and like putting things together and stuff like that. I really really thought he was going to die. I thought we were going to lose Ben, and I was devastated. I was literally, like, I'm not lying to you, I was crying pretty much the whole time on and off from episode 5 to episode 9. Because I am someone who cries during, but I was so sad and so scared that he was gonna die. I could not handle it, and it was, looking back funny, but in the moment it was not funny. I was like, they are gonna kill off one of my favorite characters. They can't do this. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, and then when like Brooklyn leaves the room, her and Darius leave the room, and like the doors swing shut behind them, and then she just starts like breaking down and crying. I was like, that is an appropriate response. I feel like that is actually how someone would react to that in real life. So like kudos to the writers and the animators because she feels like this is her fault. She was going to die, she was willing to die for her friends to make everything up, and then he saves her, but then because he saved her, he gets stabbed and now he's dying. So she like feels like this is her fault and all of that. So like that felt like a very real response. And there are a lot of those in the series and in this season. And so I just wanted to like be like, yeah, kudos to the animators and to the writers because they feel very real responses when they're all meeting up and telling stories about each other and reminding them like, oh haha, remember when this happened, and inside jokes and stuff. That all feels like real things friends would do in real life. So yeah, I just wanted to say like a kudos to them. Great job. But like, okay, back to the whole Ben dying situation. When they put him on the jet and the doors are closing and they all really think that he's going to die, like imagine think knowing that that is the last time you are going to see your friend. Seeing them in that moment and knowing that is the last time that you are going to see them, that's devastating. That's like I can't even imagine that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Ben's death, I believe. Oh, wait, no. In the epilogue, when Gia gets out of the car instead of Ben and they put her in all black, I know that was a purposeful choice by the animators or the character designers or whoever, cuz if you don't know, black is what you wear when you're mourning someone. So they put her in all black and I was like, "No, he died. He's dead." And then he steps out of the car and I'm like, "Oh, good." Yeah, like I said, I really thought that he had died. I really thought that they killed him off. So when he stepped out of that van, I was so freaking happy. And I guess technically they did kill him off, but it was only for a second and they brought him back and I am so glad. I would have been so sad if they had actually killed Ben like like he had stayed dead. That would have been awful. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Ben's death. Moving on. The Atrociraptors. Okay. I really liked these Atrociraptors. They never got names. I was sad about that. I'm gonna call him. I couldn't tell if he was more green or more yellow. I'm gonna go with green. I'm gonna call him green because we have blue and red, and now we have green. Anyway, they were really cool. Green was like insanely smart, and that was so cool to like see him or her. I'm not really sure. Working with the other Atrociraptor to like get up onto the ledge, like launching off of each other. It was really cool. They're so smart. I loved the part where all the other Atrociraptors come into the like back room where it was Darius, Brooklyn, Ben and Yaz. And they're all freaking out and Brooklyn's just there like, "Oh my gosh, like this again for real?" And she's just totally calm. And How to Train Your Dragons, the Atrociraptor, and she's like, "They're not going to hurt us cuz they weren't told to." And she's just kind of fed up with it and they're like scared. I thought that was funny. Also, kudos to the trailer makers because you can never see more than 3 Atrociraptors at a time. So I had no idea that there were going to be like a ton more Atrociraptors. I thought there was just going to be another set of 3, but no, we had a ton more. So kudos to them for never like letting that be shown. But yeah, those whoa, Atrociraptors were really smart. I really liked them. Okay, I want to talk about Gia for just a second. I really thought that she was going to turn out to be a bad guy in this season. Like, I thought she was going to be Biosyn because there were a few things that I had noticed that I like put it together. But the one that I remember right now is her saying that Brooklyn is in Malta down in the catacombs and saying, "I've been down there before," and something else about that. And then they get there and Ben says that the catacombs aren't open to the public. And Ben says, "Well, if Brooklyn's not the public, then neither are we." So I was like, "Oh, Gia's been down there. They're not open to the public. The only people down there is Biosyn. she must be part of Biosyn, and there were a couple other things, so I really thought she was going to turn out to be a bad guy, and I was so happy when she wasn't. I do wish we would have gotten to see her more this season instead of just a little bit in the epilogue, or like I wish the epilogue had been longer or something like that. But yeah, I really thought she was going to turn out to be a bad guy, and I am so, so glad that she wasn't. Okay, next topic is the Kenji Brooklyn making up, talking it out situation. I have mixed feelings about this. Okay, so Camp Cretaceous era kids. Kenlin is my OTP. They are amazing and I absolutely love them together. I was so, so happy when they like started going out in season 4 of Camp Cretaceous, but as adults, they don't work anymore. And that makes me really sad. But also, as adults, Darius and Brooklyn really work. The Dino Starship really works. So I have mixed feelings because as adults, I love Dino Star, but as kids, I love Kenlin. And it makes me sad, like I said, that they don't work anymore, but also I really do like Dino Star. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. It was a fun scene. I liked the scene. It was so good to like have closure on that. Uh, but then I don't know. At the same time, it's really sad. But then at the end, I they never officially say that Brooklyn and Darius are together at the epilogue. And I know that they said that they said I love you to each other, but it was in the way of like I don't love you as like the couples love each other. I still was kind of getting couple vibes from them at the end. I don't know if I'm reading too much into that, but like that hug was more than a hug between friends. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing that cuz I want to be seeing that, but they felt like more than just friends at the end. I love them as adults together. But then like that's what I'm talking about with I would love the little fluff stories because like if they're not together, who do they end up with and stuff like that. That's like the stuff that I love to know and like epilogues and stuff. It's like who if whoa, if whoa, where I lost the word, who eventually got it ends up together and stuff like that. I love. So there's that. If neither of Darius or Kenji ends up with Brooklyn, then who does? Who do they end up with? Kind of thing. I don't know. It's happy and sad at the same time because I love both of the ships so much. Um, I also low key Sydney and Ernest, not Brooklyn and Ernest, but Sydney and Ernest. Low key kind of cute. I liked them. I feel like they would be a cute little couple. I don't know. I'm putting that out there. Not Brooklyn, Sydney, her like alter ego, and Ernest would be cute, I think. Also, speaking of Ernest, I really liked that he came back. I was not expecting to see him at all ever again. So that was a cool little character bring back moment. I really liked that cuz I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I like Ernest. I think he's funny and silly. I like he's just like a fun take the edge off kind of character. Okay, I also liked the whole scene where Kenji was being all like businessman and kind of make trying to make a deal with Dodgson to get Bumpy back. But then when that doesn't work, he tries to blackmail him. That doesn't end up going so well for him. And he and Sammy end up being locked in the forest with the dinosaurs and attacked by the Dilophosauruses. I liked that whole thing. That was a pretty cool thing. Seeing like Kenji take on the businessman persona is something we don't get to see a whole lot, so it was really cool to get to see that. Also, speaking of the Dilophosauruses, I named this one with the eye patch Jack because he looks like a pirate, and so I named him Jack, like after Jack Sparrow. I also liked the callback to seasons 4 and 5 of Camp Cretaceous with the animals being herded. Well, it's never said outright but by chips in their brains. Calling back to seasons 4 and 5 of Camp Cretaceous, where they discover that Manticore is trying to control dinosaurs with the chips in their brains and that Bumpy's doesn't work because she needs a software upgrade. I thought that was a cool whoa, I can't speak. Callback to Camp Cretaceous. Speaking of Bumpy, in the scene where Bumpy and Smoothie are reunited, I was really scared that Smoothie was going to reject Bumpy because he imprinted on Ben. Thankfully that didn't happen, but I was really scared that it was going to, and it was in the middle of like, is Ben gonna live or is he gonna die? And I was like, we can't have Ben die and Bumpy be rejected by Smoothie. And yeah, so that was fun, but it didn't happen, and he got to be reunited with his mom and his dad a little bit later on, which was amazing. We finally got to meet Bumpy's dad. Oh, such a cute little family reunion. I love it so much. Okay, this like actually pained me. What did they do to Woo? Uh, but he looks like I don't know, like a preteen. Like, what did they do to him? He looked so good in Camp Cretaceous, and now he looks like this. And what? I just why? Why did they? Why? He looks like a preteen. He does not look like, I don't know how old he's supposed to be, like 50, 60 something year old man. He he looks so bad. Like, this man is not this man. They're not the same person. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's why. Okay, the epilogue. I really liked the epilogue. I don't really have any quarrels with it other than I wish it was like a little bit later in the timeline so that we could see where they are, like even like a year or two later in life instead of just, I think this is just like a couple months later. I wish we could have seen them like a little bit later in life. But anyway, I still really loved it. It was so cute. They all look so good. They keep getting glow ups. I love Brooklyn's natural hair color. That was technically not the first time we've seen her natural hair color. We did see it in Camp Cretaceous when her pink hair had grown out because they had been on the island so long. But that's the first time we see her like full head with her natural hair color. So that was really cool. I like her new prosthetic. Prosthesis. I think I don't. I'm not sure what the like correct terminology is, but her new pink arm that feels very like Camp Cretaceous Brooklyn. I really liked that. They had us going until the last second, the last possible second with Ben's death. Like I said earlier, Gia being in all black was definitely a conscious choice by the animators, directors, whoever did that, because I thought, I was like, oh, she's in all black, he's dead. But then he wasn't, so that's really good. The epilogue was, yeah, super cute. We see Darius wearing a dino tooth necklace, but we don't know. I can't tell if this is his necklace that he had like matching ones with his dad, or if he really did take the Giga Tooth and turn it into a necklace. Like, I think Kenji suggested that he should. That was a cute detail there. And like they seriously had us going, like showing only like half of the drink container, not showing the number of drinks in it until like the last possible second. And then technically Ben did die, but then he came back. Oh, it was so good. I loved it so much. It was a really, really good conclusion to these characters, to this story. I loved it so much. I really, really loved this show and Camp Cretaceous. They are always going to hold an incredibly special place in my heart. And yeah, that's, I think, all I have to say on that. Okay, and then finally, my only complaints about this season. Number one, we didn't get to see any of the main characters from the movies. Like, we didn't get to see Claire or Owen or Maisie or Ian or Ellie or Alan. Like, I was really, really, really hoping that we were gonna see even just one of them, like in the background or something. I was hoping they would work that into the story and we would get to see at least one of them in animation. So I was really, really sad when we didn't. I thought they could have worked that in somehow, like even like them stumbling upon the recordings of Maisie, seeing them on like security cameras or something like that. But we didn't, and I was so sad. Like, I don't know. I understand that they couldn't really have worked that into the story, but I wish that they had been able to, because that would have been really, really cool. I also feel like it would have been probably pretty easy for them to work like Ramsey into the story. We don't really see him a lot in the movie. We don't know what he's doing for most of it, so he could very well have run into the Nublar 6. I feel like that could have been pretty easily worked into the story. I guess because there are always like writing issues that like I'm not thinking of, um, canon issues, but I don't know. We did get to see Wu, but they messed him up. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, he did not look like Dr. Wu at all. I didn't think it was him at first. Yeah. So there's that. There won't be a season 5. That makes me sad, but understandable. And this was an emotional roller coaster. That's a complaint of mine. I was so like scared and sad that Ben was going to die and they were going to kill him off. And I was like, "But what about Gia? What about his mug of pasta that he promised her? Like, what about like his family? Like, I hate it when they kill off characters." So that was one of my few complaints that they had us going. I really thought he was going to die. But yeah, that is all I have to say on Chaos Theory Season 4. If I think of anything else, I'll make like a short or something adding it. But I loved this show. I loved these characters. I loved how like they incorporated Dominion into it like so perfectly. Like there was no like plot holes. I don't think that's the right term, but like no breaking canon. There we go. Nothing like that. And we got to see like when Claire and Ellie shut off the power, and then that affects the characters in Chaos Theory, and then Brooklyn turns the power back on, and that affects the characters in Dominion and their storylines and what they're trying to achieve. Those kinds of scenes happening in tandem, really, really cool. I loved how they like did that. So yeah, just like absolutely incredible show. If you haven't watched it and you made it to this point in the video, sorry that I spoiled like all of it, but you should still really go watch it. It is truly amazing. Just like sincere congratulations to the animators, the writers, the everyone who worked on this show. Thank you so much. You did a phenomenal job. This show is amazing. But yeah, that is it for me. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed day. Bye.